option pool math. So basically, there's some learning which I want to share here. Many times when I've been doing webinars, and even the founders, they come to me, and most of these founders, they are from a tech background, and might not understand how these options pools, the percentages are kept. There are ideas, but I thought that in this webinar I should cover this in terms of an example, so that this helps in understanding how that computation works. There are many places, there are many books which have been written about it. So I've tried to make it as simple as possible, covering the core concepts. So this is the first example where there is no ESOP plan in the company. So in a pre-money situation, so there's no investors as such. There are two founders, and they own the equal equity stake in the company. So the company is envisaging an investment. The investment money is 25 lakhs, so 2.5 million. And the pre-money valuation was ascertained as 10 million. So this investment money was to give 20% stake to the investor who is going to come in. Now this 20% stake, so let us just see this example here. So from our table standpoint, we know what is the equity holding of the founders, how much they, as a number of shares and as a percentage, how much shares they own. From a valuation standpoint, this would have been arrived at by some method. So that has given a value of 1 crore or 10 million. Then the investment stake is for 20%. So this 20% is post money. So once the investment will come in, the investor should have 20% stake in the business. So this is the meaning of, when I say 2.5 million for 20% stake. Now, if we do a math here, 10 million is the value of the company today, pre-money. So if we divide this by 20,000, we'll get price per share, which is 500 rupees per share. So as far as the founder's equity valuation is considered, this is 10 million. So the entire pre-money valuation is the founder equity valuation, which is 10 million. So if I receive a term sheet which says, this is what, as an investor, we are willing to invest this much in the company, 20% stake, and we did your due diligence and we arrived at this pre-money valuation of 10 million, your equity valuation is 10 million. This is what you are owning, right? Now, what will happen in the post-money scenario? The investor will come in with 20% stake. Your equity base will increase to that extent. So 20% stake is 5,000 of 25,000. So this is the number of equity will increase. The founders will dilute to 40%. Both the founders and investor will get added to the cap table at 20%. So what does it mean is post-money valuation is 10 plus 2.5, which is 12.5 million. Shares which will be issued to the founders is 5,000. So 2.5 million divided by 500. So now what we have done is incrementally, we know that how many shares to be issued to the investors for that 20% stake. So this is arrived by dividing that 2.5 by the price per share. And this is there in the example. So pretty simple to comprehend. There should not be any challenge to understand this part. Now the problem, or as far as the ESOPs are considered, since ESOPs may be issued as options, they are still not converted into equity, or they might not have been issued at all. So the problem arises from this fact. So now if we consider another example where the investor is considering 20%, it remains same as a criteria. But now they are saying that there should be 20% ESOP for key management considered in the pre-money. So here, if we add ESOP in pre-money, we will see that my expanded base is 25,000 and my founder's equity will dilute to 40%. This is equivalent dilution. So both of them dilute by 10% each, which is being taken up by ESOP. Now, if we do the valuation will remain as 10 million. This is the valuation pre-money of the company. The price per share will reduce to 400 per share because the base has expanded. The investment money remains same, 25 lakhs for 20% stake or 2.5 million for 20% stake. So that as a assumption continues to be the same. So what has happened here is the founders have diluted, and they have diluted to that same extent. This is a proportional dilution, but the price per share now is less than 500, which we have seen in our previous slide because of the entry of ESOP. So your founders, as a founder, your effective equity valuation is not 10 million, it has gone down to 8 million. The problem is this ESOP pool might not have been issued at all. However, it is, if in reality this is coming out from the founders themselves, because their valuation is getting reduced to 8 million from 10 million when there was no ESOP in the company. So what will happen in the post-money situation? So in the post-money context, if you see, your expanded base will increase because now the investors are coming in. Since the price per share is less than 500, their number which are going to, the number of shares for investors are going to be higher as compared to when there was no ESOP pre-money, right? ESOP pool is at 16%. So the post-money valuation is 12.5, but the share issued to the investor is more than what it was issued when there was no ESOPs in the company. Now, this is happening because the ESOP pool is considered, pre-money, and we have to maintain that same 20% for the investors. So investors are actually, they are not diluting because of this ESOP pool creation. Okay. But in reality, now assume that this 5,000 is not issued at all. It is just a reserve. So in reality, if you see on the issued capital, which is 26,250, the total of the three items, the top. So your investors are not at 20%, they are at 24%. So with issuance of ESOP pool of 5,000, they will come down to 20%. Now here, actually they are at a higher, percentage holding in the company as far as the issued capital is considered. Okay, so with this, if we were to, look at the concept part of it, whether ESOP pool is considered, pre-money, or this will be considered, after the investors, come in, there's a realization. One, if it is considered pre-money, actually it is the founders who are going to dilute because investors are not taking, they are not part of the pre-money cap table, and they will not be taking any dilution. Now, if we were just to assume for a matter that there is another round which is happening, so this post-money will become pre-money, and if there is a ESOP requirement in a pre-money, this investor will also dilute along with founders and the ESOP pool. So this cycle will keep on continuing as we go along. However, the other important part is, suppose this company were to be sold and there are no ESOPs out of that 5,000 which has been issued. So the holdings of the founders and the investors continues to be, especially the investor continue to be inflated, but that was not the intent.